The Nine-Lord struggle for the throne, also known as the Nine-Son struggle for the throne, was a prolonged political conflict during the late reign of Emperor Kangxi of the Qing dynasty. This power struggle involved 9 of Kangxi's sons vying for the position of crown prince over several years. Emperor Kangxi had 35 sons in total, of whom 11 died young and 24 survived to adulthood. Among these, 9 actively participated in the battle for the throne. The first prince, Crown Prince Yongzheng. The third Prince Yingji. The fourth Prince Yingzhen. The eighth Prince Yinci. The ninth Prince Yintang. The 10th Prince Yunyi. The 13th Prince Yinxiang. The 14th Prince Yinti. This internal conflict within the Qing royal court became known as the Nine-Son struggle for the throne. In China, there is a saying, one mountain cannot accommodate 2 tigers. Let alone 9 tigers competing for a single mountaintop. The throne could belong to only one person, and among the 9 princes, only one would emerge victorious. Amid this fierce competition, the brothers engaged in both overt and covert battles, each showcasing their strategies. Unexpectedly, the fourth Prince Yingzhen adopted a retreat to advance strategy, outwardly keeping a low profile. He quietly made calculated moves and gradually earned Emperor Kangxi's trust and favor. When Emperor Kangxi passed away, the throne ultimately went to the fourth Prince Yingzhen, who became Emperor Yongzheng. But while Yongzheng secured his place on the throne, what became of the other 8 princes? The first prince, from the eldest son to a prisoner. The first prince was Kangxi's eldest son by a concubine. As Kangxi had a legitimate heir at the time, the first prince was ineligible to be named crown prince. However, this did not dampen his ambitions for the throne. The first prince harbored hopes of one day becoming emperor. In the 47th year of Kangxi's reign, 1708, Crown Prince Yongzheng was deposed due to tensions with Kangxi. Seeing an opportunity, the first prince eagerly sought to prove his loyalty and win Kangxi's favor. To eliminate the powerful Crown Prince Yongzheng as a competitor, he went so far as to suggest that Kangxi should execute Yongzheng to relieve the emperor of his worries. Kangxi, deeply attached to Yongzheng, his only legitimate son by the beloved Empress Jiaqing, was appalled by the suggestion. Despite Yongzheng's repeated missteps and eventual removal as crown prince, Kangxi never entertained the idea of executing him. The first prince's loyalty only aroused Kangxi's disgust. To Kangxi, a brother suggesting the execution of his sibling was not only disrespectful but also shockingly ruthless. This behavior not only alienated Kangxi but also alarmed the other princes. That same year, the third Prince Yingji accused the first prince of using witchcraft to curse Crown Prince Yongzheng in an attempt to seize the throne. Enraged, Kangxi stripped the first prince of his titles and imprisoned him. When Yongzheng ascended the throne, he did not release his elder brother, continuing his confinement. The first prince spent 26 years in captivity and died in 1735 at the age of 63. His life, marked by ambition and failure in familial power struggles, ended as a tragic prisoner. The Crown Prince Yongzheng, from heaven's favored son to a sorrowful end in confinement. Yongzheng was the only legitimate son of Kangxi and Empress Jiaqing. As the emperor's sole legitimate heir, he was named Crown Prince shortly after birth, granting him a position of unparalleled prestige. He was widely regarded as the rightful future emperor. However, in 1708, during an imperial tour, the sudden illness of Kangxi's 18th son caused great anxiety for the emperor. Yongzheng, however, displayed indifference, which deeply disappointed Kangxi. The emperor began to see him as lacking compassion and unfit to rule. This disillusionment provided an opening for other princes, who reported exaggerated accounts of Yongzheng's flaws to Kangxi. They painted him as immoral and incompetent. Enraged, Kangxi deposed Yongzheng from his position as crown prince. The removal of the crown prince intensified the struggle for succession. plunging the court into chaos as the princes and court officials vied for power. Alarmed by the growing unrest, Kangxi reinstalled Yonzheng as crown prince in an attempt to stabilize the situation. However, the ordeal left Yonzheng insecure about his position. He plotted a coup to hasten his ascension to the throne. But the plan was discovered. As a result, he was deposed again and imprisoned by Kangxi. After his second deposition, Yonzheng lost any chance of recovery. Even after Kangxi's death and Yongzheng's accession, he remained in captivity. In 1724, Yonzheng died in confinement at the age of 51. Once the heavenly favored son and the expected future emperor, his life ended in political downfall and despair, leaving behind a tale of profound regret. Third Prince, Yonzhi. The third prince, Yonzhi, shared a close bond with the crown prince, Yonzheng, from a young age. This was largely because both were raised by consort Rong, Yonzhi's mother from the Ma Jia clan, fostering deep affection between them. Yonzhi consistently supported Yonzheng with unwavering loyalty. In the 47th year of Emperor Kangxi's reign, Yonzhi exposed the first prince, Yonzhi, for practicing witchcraft to curse Yonzheng in an attempt to seize the position of heir apparent. This revelation infuriated Emperor Kangxi, who stripped Yonzhi of his title and imprisoned him. After Yonzheng was deposed for the first time, Yonzhi briefly participated in the struggle for the throne. However, he soon realized his slim chances of success and voluntarily withdrew, dedicating his efforts to scholarly pursuits and literary projects. In the midst of the fierce competition for the throne, Yonzhi chose a unique and quieter path. When Emperor Yongzheng ascended the throne, although he bore no deep-seated grudge against Yonzhi, he still suppressed him. Yongzheng assigned Yonzhi to guard Emperor Kangxi's tombs, a task that appeared to grant some freedom but effectively restricted his movements. Dissatisfied with this arrangement, Yonzhi privately expressed his grievances, which came to Yongzheng's attention. In response, Yongzheng revoked Yonzhi's title and confined him to the Yong'an Pavilion in Jingshan. On July 10, 1732, Yonzhi passed away in confinement at the age of 54. Fourth Prince, Yonci, from the eighth virtuous king to a tragic end. The fourth prince, Yonci, was widely praised for his gentle temperament and skill in building connections, earning him the nickname Eighth Virtuous King. He not only enjoyed strong relationships among the imperial princes but also gained the support of numerous court officials. As Yongzheng's most formidable rival, Yonci held a significant advantage in the battle for the throne. In the court, Yonci formed alliances with influential supporters, including the 9th prince, Yintang, the 10th prince, Yinyi, the 14th prince, Yinti, and several powerful officials like Tong Guowei, Manduhu, and Jing Shi. His strong backing even surprised Emperor Kangxi. After the crown prince Yonzheng was deposed, Emperor Kangxi sought to reinstate him but also tested the ministers by asking them to propose a new crown prince from among the imperial sons. To Kangxi's surprise, most ministers supported Yonci, with many even submitting joint petitions advocating for him as heir. Kangxi, intending to use the ministers' opinions as a balancing tool, was alarmed by Yonci's overwhelming influence, recognizing it as a potential threat to his authority and the stability of the future heir. As a result, Kangxi became wary of Yonci, not only refusing to select him as the crown prince but also suppressing his growing power, forcing Yonci to retreat gradually. Although Yonci appeared to withdraw from the succession struggle, his influence in court remained significant. When Emperor Yongzheng took the throne, he viewed Yonci and his faction, the 8th Prince Party, as his most dangerous adversaries. Initially, Yongzheng adopted conciliatory measures to prevent rebellion from Yonci supporters. However, once his position was secure, Yongzheng swiftly moved to suppress Yonci. He stripped Yonci of his title, renamed him a China, a derogatory term meaning dog, and humiliated him to break his dignity. Eventually, Yin was imprisoned under harsh conditions. Only a few months later, he died miserably in prison, marking the tragic end of the eighth virtuous king. His downfall was not only a testament to the ruthlessness of political conflict but also the destined fate of a loser in the power struggle. Fifth Prince, Yin Tang. Yin Tang was a staunch supporter of the eighth prince, Yin, and consistently aided him in opposing both the Crown Prince's faction and Yongzheng's faction. After Yin's failure in the succession struggle, Yin Tang supported the 14th prince, Yin in vying for the throne and continued to oppose Yongzheng, earning the emperor's deep resentment. After Yongzheng ascended the throne, he stripped Yin Tang of his title and forced him to adopt the name Cixi, meaning pig, as an insult. Yin Tang was subjected to severe torment in captivity and ultimately died from the harsh treatment. Sixth, Prince Yin, the 10th prince. Yin was a supporter of the 8th prince, Yongzheng. After Emperor Yongzheng ascended to the throne, Yin opposed his rule and frequently clashed with him. In the first year of Yongzheng's reign, Prince Yin refused to escort the sacred relics of a Mongolian living Buddha to Khalkha, Mongolia. This act enraged Emperor Yongzheng. However, since Yongzheng's position was still unstable, he refrained from openly confronting the faction supporting the 8th prince. Instead, he stripped Yin of his title and imprisoned him, treating the matter relatively lightly. When Emperor Qianlong ascended the throne, he released Yin from captivity. After regaining his freedom, Yin lived for another 4 years and passed away on October 18, 1741. Compared to others, his ending was relatively peaceful. 7th, Prince Yongzheng, the 13th prince. Yongzheng was a trusted ally of Emperor Yongzheng and earned the title of a virtuous prince, remembered in history. He was a steadfast supporter of Yongzheng and one of the few princes who survived the intense power struggle known as the Nine Princes' Battle for the Throne, eventually achieving great success. After Yongzheng ascended to the throne, he placed immense trust in Yongzheng, bestowing upon him the title of Prince of the first rank and appointing him as a Grand Minister of State, responsible for major court affairs. Yongzheng not only stood out among the Grand Ministers but also held several key positions, including overseeing the Ministry of Revenue. His exceptional abilities and loyalty made him a critical figure in Yongzheng's administration. To honor his achievements, Yongzheng granted Yongzheng the privilege of hereditary nobility with no succession restrictions, a rare honor in the Qing dynasty, known as the Iron Cap Prince status. In 1730, Yongzheng passed away due to illness. To commemorate his contributions, Yongzheng ensured he was enshrined in the Imperial Ancestral Temple, posthumously honored him with the title Qian, virtuous, and awarded him a plaque inscribed with loyal, respectful, sincere, upright, diligent, prudent, honest, and bright. This was an exceptional recognition of his legacy. Yongzheng was among the rare Qing princes to enjoy both extraordinary accomplishments and a dignified end. 8th, Prince Yin, the 14th prince. Prince Yin was seen as the last hope of the 8th prince's faction. As a strong supporter of the 8th prince, Yongzheng, Yin became the focal point of the 8th prince party after Yongzheng failed to secure the throne. They placed their hopes on Yin to contend for the position of heir apparent. Emperor Guangxu held Yin in high regard, appointing him as general-in-chief of pacifying distant regions to lead the campaign to quell the Tibetan rebellion. Although Yin's achievements on the battlefield were not particularly outstanding, they earned him some military experience and political clout in a highly volatile situation. When Emperor Yongzheng came to power, he was wary of Yin, suspecting him of potential rebellion. However, Yongzheng's trusted official, Nian maintained strict control over Yin's army's logistics, and Yin's limited influence among his troops made any military action unfeasible. Since Yin and Yongzheng were both born of Empress Dowager Cixi, their shared maternal bond led Yongzheng to adopt a relatively lenient approach. Instead of severe punishment, Yongzheng summoned Inti back to Beijing and assigned him to guard Emperor Kangxi's tomb, which was essentially a form of house arrest. After Emperor Qianlong ascended the throne, he adopted a conciliatory stance, releasing Inti and restoring his freedom. Although Inti did not become a strong contender for the throne, his later years were relatively stable. He passed away in 1755 at the age of 67, ending his life in relative peace. This is the History and Culture channel. Liking and subscribing are the greatest help and support to us. Thank you everyone and see you in the next time.